times when you go to car dealerships or you work in any business, one of the complaints you get is nobody ever talks, nobody ever communicates. Nobody knows where they're going, where they're heading. So this is not quite the antidote, but at least it will help us kind of just get together at least twice a year to kind of understand what the team's doing. And then of course I love the fact that service and parts and accounting and sales, we all get together, you know, as one, which doesn't happen that often. Couple things. I want to just give Corrado, this whole restaurant, and their staff, give them a hand. They're going to do a great job. And then also, I'm going to invite John O'Donoghue up here in a second. He's our representative from Southeast Toyota. He's come down here. But I want to also say, give him a nice hand, though, because actually, he's contributed financially to helping us put this on for our dinner. So give him a hand. So this is our President's Award dinner. This is an acknowledgement of the award that we received as a dealer body to kind of accomplish something that's very difficult. In fact, John, how many are in our district got the award?
There were 4 dealerships.
There are only 4 in our district, so that says a lot. I know when we work every single day, we can all find reasons why things aren't working well, but even amongst some of the dysfunction and some of the stuff that we go through as a team, which we know can be frustrating, we were still able to accomplish a lot of benchmarks to allow us to get the President's Award. So again, this is what the dinner is all about. And again, I want to just tell each of you to give yourself a round of applause. It's a great accomplishment. Lastly, before we get to some new employees, some new team members rather, just let you know the purpose of this meeting. We're going to just discuss, obviously, kind of, we normally do a kickoff meeting in January. It's 6:30 in the morning, as most of you know, so it's kind of a pleasure not have to do one at 6 in the morning. But we kind of want to know where are we starting, where are we at the halfway point, and then where are we going. And then also I want to wrap around some items maybe that can inspire you to kind of think where you're working every day. But more importantly, my focus has always been if I can contribute in some way to help you become better people. Being better employees will take care of itself. That's the focus. So a lot of the stuff that I have is really not car-oriented. It's really people-oriented. But I firmly believe that if we can become better people, better husbands, wives, better uncles, you know, better people in general, it's going to help our staff to become better employees. So that's kind of the gist of what we're going to cover. Our numbers and stuff that we typically do is very, very abbreviated. In fact, it's one slide, which I know you guys aren't interested in graphs and charts anyways. But because we kind of combined this dinner as an opportunity to get together so we wouldn't have to get together another time at 6 a.m., we're just going to generically talk about where we are at the beginning of the year, where we're tracking, and what we need to do as a staff. So, first, what I'll do is we're gonna let Myra come up here and give a speech. You know? Yeah. Myra's new with us, but she said, "Listen, I know you're going to introduce some new people. Please don't make me come up to the front." Right? So that was kind of a little bit. But if you would, if you'll stand up where you're at, and then we'll acknowledge some team members really quick. Austin, stand up. Myra. Anthony, is Anthony here? Okay. Mark. Mike. Jenna. Lisa. Reticia here? Reticia, okay. Jacob. And Marquise. These are new team members to the staff. They were the reception, accounting, sales, service. So if you give them a hand and welcome them to the team. Okay, now I will tell you this clicker thing always messes up, so I made sure I get through this without having to go over there, and it's already seemingly.
I think I can handle this. Sure.
Can you hit the enter button, or just hit the arrow? See the arrow button?
The helmet?
No, just go. You won't go enter. You got to hit the arrow by the picture. It's on the slide. Yep. Travis, did I skip him on there? No, I had Brandon on there. Did I say Travis? Did I skip over your names? No. Travis, my bad. Come on, stand up. Travis! I wasn't that smart. I promise you. I thought I was me, but Travis is going to go. Okay.
Push the arrow.
Yeah. Here you go right here. Sit at the arrow right here.
Oh, there's 2 arrows, y'all. I got it now. It's all good.
Okay, Okay, I'm going to invite Brad up here in just 1 second, but real quick, oh, well, I think Alright, real quick, let's talk about first the sales, just real quick so we know where we're at. When we started the year, we had benchmarks and goals, and basically where we're at from year over year, we're down 7% in used car sales, and we're down 7% in new car sales, and the dealership overall profitability is down 39%. This is all from last year. Now, where that's going to come into play that's very important is not so much to focus on the number of where we're down, because that's irrelevant, right? We can't change that, correct? There's nothing you can do about that. What we can do is figure out how we're going to go moving forward. So I'm going to get into just a little bit about how I think we can affect that number, but I want to invite Brad up here to go over a couple things with service and fixed operations, and also make an announcement with Chris, and we didn't do it in January.
How's everybody this evening? I'm going to be real quick, just got a couple of things I want to go over. We had made a change back in January to be effective in February, and we didn't acknowledge it in the kickoff meeting earlier this year. You know, we always talk about we want to see people grow, get promoted within, and give them an opportunity to do better for themselves and their families. And we were able finally to do that this year. Chris, you'll stand up. We promoted Chris to shop foreman. We have a bunch of new young techs that he's helping them through, get their training, and get them ready to go to the next level.
Yay!
Can I say something real quick too, just to acknowledge Chris, and hopefully most of you, if not all of you, know Chris, but what he's doing with these young guys is really important to me and to Brad, and really the overall dealership. He does a phenomenal job. How many years are you doing this? Even before I bought this, how many years is that? 11 years. He is meek, quiet, yet strong. He does his work, but he's actually a phenomenal leader. These guys look up to him. He does a great job, and so Chris, I'm very proud that you're leading those guys back there. It means a lot to the dealership. Thank you.
If you can get Robert in line, that'd be
The next person I really want to recognize is Marvin. Stand up.
Marvin.
Come on, Marvin.
What Louie and I did is we took the numbers for January through April of 2012 and January through April of 2013, and Marvin had 19.4% growth in the parts department.
Awesome.
Robert, Sherry, and the whole service team, along with Marvin, service is up 11%, same time versus last year.
Great job.
We're not doing so good in detail. We're down about 16% versus same time last year. We're just transitioning into new managers up front, new processes, but it'll come around towards the end of the year where it should be. The next thing, Kristen, ready to stand up? Come on, Kristen. Y'all, we went to rental business last year in November. Kristen has organized it. She's pretty much run it other than on days and she was off. I mean, it's been her baby. But I will say, I went to Louie at the end of January, and I said, you got one more month. I said, I'm not going to lose $5 grand a month anymore. Well, since January, so that just means February, March, and April, we've made over $5,000 in rental as profit. And that's over and above the loss we had for the first few months. So she's done a tremendous job. And I just want to say thank you.
Alright, I'll introduce you and then I'll change the slide. I want to say something too about the rentals. When you think about that, we've got 22 rentals, Brad, 23 rentals.
Well, we just got 2 more in on Friday.
So when you think about that, and you have that many cars in stock, and you may have that many transactions, and you may be asking yourself the question, man, only $5,000, that's a lot of work, and that's, but keep in mind one thing. The main focus of rentals started off was to be a customer convenience, to pick up customers from Lake Oconee, some other areas, and try to get people into our dealership that's never been there, which will affect sales and eventually affect service. So the big picture, if we're making $1,000, if we're making $1,500 or $500, if we're not losing money and we're exposing more people to the dealership, it's going to benefit us in the long run. We won't see this till probably this time next year, when you start to expose a lot of people. So the job that Kristen does is instrumental to the dealership. It really is. And again, Kristen, I think you did a great job. And I'll tell you, if you see what she has to go through, getting the cars cleaned up, getting people in, getting people out, getting the contracts, making sure the insurance is done right, making sure the I's are dotted, it's hectic. And most of you guys, especially on the sales side, know you get calls all day long for rental line one, and we don't have any cars, and so it's a lot of activity. So Kristen did a great job, so thank you for that. Okay, we are going to introduce John O'Donoghue, and I'm going to switch your slide. John, come on up. Give John a hand. He's from Toyota.
Thank you very much for allowing me to come tonight. I'm going to brag a little bit more and tell you a little bit more of what it took to win the President's Award. From the sales category, you have to have CSI, which is above SPF. You guys did a great job there. You also have to have sales efficiency, which basically says that you have to be at least 5 to 10% better than what the average Toyota store is. It's a big accomplishment. Service market share and service retention. Also 2 other criteria. You guys have done a great job there. So again, pat yourself on the back. This is quite an accomplishment. Give you a little idea of the lay of the land for Toyota. So far through the first 5 months, Toyota's up 9% in the 5-state area. And we're also up 9% in this area. Toyota's on a roll. This is going to be the best year that we've had since 07, back when the industry was tracking 17 million. The good news is you hear a term called the SAR, which is seasonally adjusted retail sales. Kind of what they predict. All the really smart people predict how many cars are going to be sold in the U.S. At the start of the year, everybody was predicting maybe 14.8. Well, through the first 5 months, it's looking over 15.2. So anybody who makes money selling vehicles, it's a good thing. There's going to be more people, more people out there in the market to buy vehicles. Plus, you got to think the average age of our vehicle that's on the road now is like 10 years old. So these next couple of years are going to be very, very good. And Toyota is positioned to have a vehicle for all these customers. The new RAV has just done great. You can't get enough of them. The new Avalon's done great. And people who have seen this car in person say the best is yet to come. We have an onslaught of new product coming. I'm going to show you some pictures of this stuff, so please don't tell me you've seen it because it hasn't debuted yet. TC, you're going to see a new TC coming next month. We've got a new Corolla that'll be here around Labor Day. We showed that at the Pros Banquet, and it's a nice fit, very nice fit. We currently have, the Corolla is the #1 selling vehicle in that segment. It's about 10 years old, and it's only had minor body changes. Just imagine once we finish this car, the manual asphalt. The new car comes in September. The 4Runner, also the 4th quarter. The new Highlander, which is unbelievably nice. And of course, the plug-in Prius, real small volume, will come finally to Georgia the 1st quarter of next year.
Yeah, can Tequila, Kathy, and Martha stand up? Can you go over our Toyota Pros and the value of
Let me tell you about, let me tell you what. Let the expert talk about Toyota Pros. About Toyota Pros and the bank we just went to, and your
this is
401k
my
and your
back year going down there, and Kathy and Tequila will get to go next year and experience what Toyota takes care of us, and anybody gets in sales, it's something that you will never forget, trust me, especially for me, walking in this year, and I get to the end of it, and this man is standing there, and all the trainers, and they said, 1 more year, Brian, 1 more year. And I get my jacket, and what Toyota does to take care of you financially on down the road for retirement is something that you guys in sales, you need to get your test, and it is more than just a ring or a trip. They really recognize you and take care of it. And I'm sorry I get emotional about it, but I mean, that's my passion to my heart. So I can't wait for you guys to go, and I get to share it with you when we walk in there next year together. It's amazing.
All right.
founded by Mr. Moran, and he came up through the sales ranks, so he truly understands that sales, nothing happens till you sell a car. And the people in this room are really who make it happen. All we do is distribute vehicles. We're fortunate to have great dealers, and Louie and everybody here and the whole team to represent us well. But let me tell you, to give you an idea of the pros banquet, all our senior management, everybody's in a line just to clap and welcome all the pros that come through, because the whole weekend's about them. So, as you said, we do appreciate all you guys do, and serve the same way. Just can't say enough great things about what you do. Now, to some of the new product. Here's the new Tundra. Some of you will probably say, oh, it looks a little bit like an F-150. It's the #1 selling vehicle. Probably not a bad idea to make the vehicle look a little bit more like the F-150, but we all know Toyota has the highest resale value. We're only limited right now by having enough of them. I'm just going to flip through these pictures. There's the interior, really nice interior. We actually had this at the pros banquet for all the money. Here is a car that's the new Corolla. This is a great looking vehicle. Many car we've launched as I've been with Southeast Toyota now, going on 15 years. This is probably the vehicle I'm most excited about, because this is our volume vehicle. You think we've been selling the existing, I mean, the Corolla's had some minor changes, and it has truly the highest resale value, dependability. They're an awesome vehicle, but styling, maybe we've not kept up with some of the other vehicles. This one's a great looking vehicle. New Highlander. This is a good looking vehicle. It's an onslaught of new product coming. You know, they showed some concepts, the FRX. There's one out there now. And they tested a couple of auto shows, and the reviews have been phenomenal. So I think we'll probably see that next year. Yeah, that always gets asked. It seems like a good snap verbal. Yeah. That's it. Any questions for me? But again, thank you for all you do for us. Congratulations.
All right, let's talk about something. You guys, we'll talk about some things, kind of some, I guess, success tips. But, you know, when you're thinking about what we're talking about in success, we all know it's very subjective, right? Success in what? Success in your family, success in the dealership, success in your career, success in growing in Toyota Pros. What does that mean to you? So as I go through some of this stuff, I want you to really just take the next 15 minutes and just say to yourself, what does it mean to me to achieve what I'm looking for? Okay, what does it really mean to you? There's a story where this college girl, she calls back her family after her first year of college, and she says, you know, Dad, I need to talk to you a little bit. I'm recovering well, though, before I even start. I'm actually doing okay now, but before you get alarmed, I was actually in the dorm, and the dorm caught on fire. And I was on the 3rd floor. I didn't know what to do, so I jumped out. When I landed, I cracked my back and broke 2 of my legs, but luckily there was somebody there, a boy I'd never even met. The whole beginning of the school year, he kind of took me in and kind of got me to the hospital, and we've got to know each other. Well, I've been through a couple of surgeries, and of course I haven't called you, whatever, but I just want you to know I like you so much, we're about ready to get married. And as the father gasped a little bit, she said, Dad, I'm just kidding, but I am failing my first year of college. You know, so perspective, right? What's your perspective on what success really is? Like, how do you really look at it? Like, do you perceive it one way and then maybe another? And I think, again, you know, that it's being, you know, extremely subjective. You need to take a look at it. I would tell you, obviously, this isn't a place to probably, you know, take notes, but I would take mental notes just of some of the things. So there may be 1 or 2 things. And sometimes when you know, I'm a big believer that words have power, and you just don't know. Like, you know, even if I refer to the scripture, it said, God said, let there be light, and there was light. God said, He said, He spoke it. So therefore, it tells me words have power. We don't know what words are going to turn a light bulb on. We may get 13 minutes from now, and you hear something that may affect you with your significant other, or something go along. So pay attention to potentially some of the words that can be shared with you today. And I think ultimately, when you're looking at being successful, again, it doesn't matter what range, look for the people that have maybe what you're looking for. Who has what you need to make you more successful? You know, I like to refer to, when I talk to the high school kids, I call them bakers and butlers. Who are the bakers and the butlers? Who are the bakers? The people that have the recipe for you to succeed. Who's got that recipe? Right? Who are the butlers that can open a door for you? You know, when you really break it down like that, each of us will agree there are people in our lives right now, and people that we'll meet in the future that will be bakers and butlers. But you got to be looking for them, right? So you've got to really be understanding of who those people may be. I'll give you that next. So I want to talk to you just about the power of information. When it comes to getting better or being more successful, I think information is more important than education. I think education is a great thing, but I think information is more important. That's just my opinion. I think
we got chosen president.
that's all right. They can learn. They can learn. Information. Again, go back to what I said earlier. Who's got the information that you need to succeed? You know, we all have struggles and adversities and circumstances that hits our life, right? When we have those situations, what's the first thing we do typically? If something bad's going on, a scenario you're not used to, you pick up the phone and call who? Who do you call? I don't know. You call somebody, right? You call dad, you call grandpa, call an ex-coworker that you respected. You call somebody, right?
Tell me.
That's right, we call you buddy. But somebody's got that information, and again, I think there's plenty of places to do it. There's leadership training, there's technical training, right, Chris? I mean, to get more information. We're talking about succeeding, maybe if you take it to the workplace. What information are you getting to become better at what you do? There's a lot of information available. You can get it on YouTube, you can Google it, you can podcast it. You know, you can get some great information on church on Sunday, can't you? It's just more information. You don't know when a sermon can change your mind and turn you a different direction. You know, I heard a cool sermon where the guy had 3 points. He said, if you think it's impossible, it's not. If you think you know everything, you don't. And if you think you're alone, you're not. Simple information can make you think and change the direction, the course of where you're going. All right, you can, again, talk about those bakers and butlers. Books you can read to gather information. You know, Martha, you've been in the business a while. And I think it's important because a lot of times I've been doing this 19 years. It's real easy for me to say I've been doing this 19 years, but have I really been doing this 1 year 19 times? It's a big difference. So if you've been in the business for a while or you're just starting, right, Chris, 11 years, are you in the business 11 years or 1 year 11 times? Is there an area in your area of responsibility that you can do, whether it's service or parts or sales or accounting or track or rental? Can you improve and get better? Can you start looking at working at a car dealership not as a job, maybe a career? When I first started selling cars, I remember this, I can never forget it. I started selling cars when I was 20 years old, and I said to myself, man, I'm going to be rich. I made $2,800 that month, and I said, man, I'm going to be rich. This is the deal. This is the deal. But even though $2,800 was an insurmountable amount of money to me, it was huge. Okay, what I did also do at that time is I figured right then and there, this was no longer going to be a job to me. It was a career. Now, I was young, 20 years old. I didn't really know probably how to get to where I wanted to be, but I knew that I had made that choice, that decision. And I think a lot of times if you look at your scenario, making the choice is the toughest part. Once you decide to do something, man, you can't mess with a made-up mind. Once you've made the choice to do something. So again, I encourage you to reinvent yourself. Constantly look to reinvent yourself. My party has left me here. Kids, you want to hit that for me?
Yeah.
Do you know how to hit it? It's the little arrow. No, Lord have mercy. Yeah, that arrow. Hit it. Look, I'm right there. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's talk about your focus. You know, there's an acronym we use called WAFO. Some of you may have heard it, some of you have not heard it. WAFO, what are you focused on? You realize your clearest focus gives you your greatest energy. Clearest focus. So what you have to ask yourself the question is, what are you focused on? Now, are we focused on circumstance? Are we focused on anything bad going on? Are we focused on traffic? Are we focused on phones not ringing? Are we focused on salespeople that need to improve, or managers that need to get better, or a schedule that doesn't work right? Because whatever it is you choose to focus on, yes, ma'am. Okay, thanks, Becky. So whatever you choose to focus on, expands. Let me give you an example. You're in the checkout line, you're in a hurry. You go on 10 items or less. You're waiting in line, all of a sudden you got 4 people in front of you. And you got to get moving. Does that time just seem like forever? Because what are you focused on? I got to go. Forever. Really, if you took a stopwatch, it's probably 50 seconds to a minute and a half. But in your mind, whatever you focus on expands. So you got to look. You know, I put a couple items on here, right? Focus on what's important, right? We want to make sure we're focusing on things that matter most. You know, creating that why. The why. Why do you do what you do? What's the real reason why you do what you do? If you don't have a why, I would advise you to create a why. Because if there's no why behind what you do, getting up every single day to go punch the clock is not going to be fulfilling after a period of time. You got to create a why. Maybe it is the family. Maybe it's something else that's important to you, a goal that you have. Maybe it's big screen TV. Maybe it's something, but you've got to create that why. Go ahead, hon. All right, so we're talking about, again, being success-minded. So successfulness, obviously, successful people leave clues. Success needs clues, right? So to be a great spouse or employee or community leader, I mean, we leave clues, right? If you look at like LeBron James and Oprah Winfrey and I've alluded up here, a couple of Bill Gates, you name them, we all got one thing in common. All of us have something in common, right? You know what that is?
24 hours.
What is it, Mark? You know? We all have it. LeBron James, heartbeat, yeah, we do have that in common. We've got the same 24 hours in a day. Every single one of us have the same 24 hours in a day. So the question is, how do we use our time? Right? So look at that and figure, how do you use your time? You know, is time spent on Facebook or other items that are entertainment driven? That's fine, right? But I encourage all of you, again, whatever capacity it is to get better, allocate some time to work on your craft. I think it's very important. In fact, you know, I've lived 14,387 days as of today. You ever look at that? You ever look at your life, how many days you've lived? You know, I'm lucky to say I'm 40 years old, or I'm 36 years old. Have you ever looked at how many days you lived? 14,387 days. Almost 400,000 hours. When you break down the hours of sleep, break down the hours of work, when it all boils down, you know how many hours you have left after sleep and after an 8-hour day of work? You know how many hours you have left to succeed? You get 2. So what do you spend those 2 hours a day on? It's just a thought. So a couple of things that I think is important, especially at the dealership, or even really, more importantly, even at the home. Be a game changer, right? I use faith a lot, and I think about, you know, if you look at faith, God's not short of Christian people, right? He's short of Christian game changers. Right? If any of you are faith, you can relate to that, right? He's not short of people that say they're Christian. He's short of people that actually get in the game and make an impact. Right? Same thing be it in any area of your life or even at the dealership. Be a game changer. What does it take to be a game changer? How many people does it take to change a game? Anyone know? It takes one person, right? One person to change the game. What happens if everybody changes the game at the same time? Ooh, that's synergy. That's serious. So again, it's something to consider. Be a game changer. The other thing is have a high sense of urgency. Again, whether it's at the house or whether it's at the dealership, again, can you focus on all these things and be great at all of them? Probably not. But every once in a while, take the time to listen and learn where you can pick up the intensity, have the urgency. You know, especially as it relates to work, urgency, right? That creates a champion. Have that urgency. Knowing that you can be a game changer. If we combine being game changers, having a sense of urgency, and we capitalize on seizing the day. Because so many times, if you guys are like me, what I do is I worry about tomorrow a whole bunch. I'm always like consumed about tomorrow, the next day, the next month, the next year. Right? And sometimes I even worry about what happened yesterday. Y'all ever do that? Something that happened a month ago. I'm still thinking about it. The reality is yesterday's gone. Tomorrow will be here soon enough. All we have is today. Right? We have today. We have today to be perfect. We have today to master our craft, to do whatever it takes to be successful in this day. There are only so many days. I don't know if I'm going to live to 20,000 days. I have no idea. But in the meantime, however many days I get, I want to focus on being the best I possibly can be. And hopefully you guys feel the same exact way, because that's extremely important. So one last thing to close up. Okay. 4 things you can do to really just keen in on becoming more successful. The first thing I think is important is you don't pursue success. A lot of people pursue it. They pursue success. But again, I think you attract success by being an attractive person. So what are the qualities of being an attractive person? Not physically, attractive person, qualities, right? Again, get spiritual on you, right? I mean, it's real clear, in my opinion, right, with the fruits of the Spirit, right? Humbleness, peace, joy, love, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control. Do those things apply in the dealership sometimes? Sure. Are they easy to do? No. They're very difficult to do, right? If we didn't have any people on the planet, we'd have no problems. But we got people. And we have communication, and we have issues that we have to deal with. But those are the things. So, again, I think you attract success. The first thing is just kind of the law of the A, is awareness. You can't grow yourself until you know yourself. You can't grow unless you're honest with yourself and know where you're at, to know where you want to go. Right? And so many times, like my wife's here in marriage, that's one of the biggest challenges you have, is you're constantly learning about yourself. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Where did that come from? Why do you keep doing it? Sound familiar? Habit. Same thing at the dealership. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Why do you keep doing it? Same thing. But you got to know where you're at. And also, like at the dealership, know what you're good at. Know what you're good at. And relay that to the management staff to know what you can become better at. Because if you spend a lot of time doing things that you're not really good at, you're going to spin your wheels. You know, I believe that you focus on your strengths and you manage your weaknesses. That's what I'm a believer in. I believe that if you focus on what you're really good at, if you're an A, let's go for the A+. Because my thought process is if you're getting a D at something and you do really, really good and you improve it, you make it get to a C+. Can you get to an A? I don't know, maybe. But you have a greater chance of going from an A to an A+. Do with what you're really good at. Okay, the second thing is action. All right, awareness and action. All right, and these four things will help you to succeed in any area, I don't care what capacity, but awareness and action, right? Another acronym is TAN, take action now. There's no better time than the present. Procrastination is something that we all experience. When you go to the word procrastination and take it apart, it says castrate. So when you procrastinate, you're cutting off all your possibilities to move forward. Right? So take action. You know when you need to do something, pick up the phone and make that call. You know, call that guy you don't want to call that you've already been calling 3 times. You know, follow up with the person that warmed the tires, or whatever the case may be. Take action. Every day take action, having that awareness. Third thing is accountability. Obviously, we know we need accountability. Is accountability, you think, a negative word? Could be. Maybe not be, right? Depends on how you're looking at it. Right? We can take all kind of words and define them probably from different definitions. But accountability is key. We want to be accountable. We want to make sure you want to hold yourself to an accountable standard. You know, I think where we're really growing and get to another level is where you're not looking for the management staff or somebody else to hold you accountable. You hold yourself to a high standard. Okay. And the last thing is attraction. Again, I'm a firm believer of the law of attraction. Anybody know what that law states? I cheated. It's on there. It basically says what you think about, you bring about. Okay? Law of attraction is you attract everything to you. Every circumstance you have, you're attracting it to you. Your energy and action always follows thought, so everything you think every day self-prophesizes everything that's going on. So the more you focus on everything that you don't want, guess what you're going to get? What you don't want. Everything you focus on you do want, guess what you get? You do want. It may not come at the time that you want it to, but if you keep focusing on what you don't want, I promise you, guess what's going to happen? It's coming. All right? So the law of attraction, okay? The thing that's important is, remember, for things to change, who's got to change? Does the weather have to change? Does the dealership have to change? Does the location have to change? For things to change, we have to change. Right? So that's a critical thing. I got one little video and then closing remarks. If you
I
want,
think the video might be over my head.
just hit the next one.
Right, that's above my favorite.
That's good, right there.
She's too shy to put her best foot forward. Turned down by the Decker recording company who said, "We don't like their sound. The guitar music is on the way out." A faithful soldier, farmer, and real estate agent, at 38 years old, went to work for his father as a handyman. Cut from the high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything, and he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no original ideas. His fiancée died, he failed in business twice, he had a nervous breakdown, and he was defeated in 8 elections. If he'd never failed,
Okay, so pretty cool little video. Obviously, when we're talking about succeeding, what's involved in pursuing or attracting success? What's involved in that? You got some risk? Right? You have some failure? You're going to fail a bunch. You know, winners lose way more often than losers lose. Because they go for it many more times. Winners are going to lose way more than losers lose. But if you sit and there's something you want to do or something you want to go after, it's up to you to make that happen. Obviously, we need courage and patience, right? We talk about growth, looking for the bakers and butlers. You know, again, going to the scriptures, I like that verse that says, seek and you will find. But the thing that I think is important is if you don't seek, you ain't going to do what? You ain't going to find. Seek and you'll find. Don't seek, you ain't finding. It's important that you've got to continue to seek and learn and grow and learn and grow and seek and keep going after it. Again, I think it's real important, again, who we recognize, who affects the outcome in your marriage. Who? I do. Not she does, or he does. I do. Right? Who affects the outcome of the dealership?
You.
Right. It's I. Everybody say I. Right? Who affects the outcome if you learn more? I can hear y'all. I'm starting to get it. All right. Well, again, listen. Just a couple of words. Hopefully, get you thinking and you know, my perspective is I'm very grateful for the team that God's blessed me with. I'm grateful for everybody here. You guys allow me and my family to have a dealership, just like the customers allow us to have income. If we didn't have you and I didn't have the customers, we wouldn't have anything. So I know I get busy, do a lot of things, but I want to just take time to let every one of you know that every one of you mean a lot to my family, a lot. Because, you know, I'm very fortunate to have what I have, but I wouldn't sustain it if it wasn't for everybody in the room. Everybody counts, everybody matters, and everybody affects the outcome. If you don't do anything and you're hiding in the corner and think it doesn't count, it counts. You're still affecting the outcome. Everybody affects the outcome. So, again, get ready to serve dinner. Did I leave anybody out? I think we're good. Jim, you had your presentation. What you got, buddy? Huh? It was done? You missed it. I did? All right. Enjoy dinner. And when we're done eating dinner, you guys are free to kind of, after you're done eating, we don't have anything. Again, we got dinner and then we got dessert. So don't leave too early. We got dessert, okay? And they're all going to serve coffee if you guys want some coffee as well. All right?